What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on iRacing for Production Car Challenge PCC in the Ford Mustang at VIR. VIR is actually a track that I've never raced at before on iRacing because it wasn't free until a year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know exactly how long, and I hated it when it was not a free track, and I hate it now that it's a free track. And so I've never raced here. We're going to give it a whirl. I've run so much practice this week. I've probably run 50 practice laps and cannot figure this track out to save my life. But we're going to try to pick up a win here so I can never race here ever again because I'm not a fan. It's an interesting flowy track and there's a lot of interesting quirks to it. It just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because in my mindset it's new and I can't understand it because I don't have a million laps like I do most tracks, but it's not clicking for me. So we're going to see how this goes. I have no idea what the Mustang field's going to be like. I literally just woke up like 15 minutes ago and decided it was the time to do this. So we'll see what the Mustang field is like, and hopefully we can get a win in this. But regardless, we're going to try to learn the track today. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see what the entry list looks like. There's been a lot of 86s and Mustangs, or excuse me, 86s and MX5s this week. We'll see what the Mustangs look like. And then that first chunk there. Yeah, I would be perfectly fine being the only Mustang, although of course we are going to be slower than every other car, which kind of sucks. But I might be the only Mustang, which again, it is what it is. Hopefully I just learned a damn track. I know my way around the track, like literally physically. I'm not good. I keep messing up the roller coaster 14 and 14A. I cannot get in that corner. I'm braking too late, flying off the course, and therefore I don't know the hog pen that well either because I'm never going through there at speed. I'm always going through there off the track, stopped, broken. So whatever. This is probably going to be a boring race results wise, but let's try to learn this damn place so I never have to do this again. Hopefully, maybe I missed a Mustang in there even, but either way, we'll see what the entry list looks like. And I just gotta not suck, basically. I gotta get it together and run a normal lap and run a normal race and get some SR back out of this if we can, because I've had a not very productive week. The global challenge you saw was a big negative. Also had a GT3 Bathurst race that was a big negative with a wreck in that one that someone else took me out. So it's not been a great week SR wise. We've run okay, but I need this one for SR. We are indeed the only Mustang out of 39 cars, which is insane. We're number 17, just below a 2K. We're gonna obviously not get any iRating out of this back, but that's okay. We're not concerned about the iRating necessarily as much as we are just getting this stupid track checked off my list, and then we can never do it again because it sucks. But hopefully that tone changes a little bit by the end of this. We can learn it a little bit and get out of here decently. I do struggle with FPS here because I think they refreshed the graphics here when they made this free a couple years ago, whenever that was. So you may see some FPS drops and spikes and stuff with 39 cars. Hopefully not too bad. Cold tires here again are brutal, like everything is for me here. Probably the first 2 laps are really slow, like 205s, and then once I get some tire heat and a little bit of a rhythm and remember what the heck I'm doing, then we're okay. Just gotta keep in mind that, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know the track well enough to be pushing 11 tenths, so we're gonna try to keep it at 8 or 9 tenths today and learn. I've watched a ton of film of other great drivers around here, both recently and from in the past. It's just, I don't know. Again, I know my way around. It just doesn't click with me, at least not yet. So we're going to be slow. I know fast guys are probably in the 2s, but we're not going to be anywhere near that. I'm going to be happy to be in the 3s on a fast lap. If we can just get around the track, we should be okay. To at least stay in front of all the 86s, which is kind of the goal, baseline goal. They're going to be faster at some points than I am. But hopefully we can just kind of make it. So yeah, long laps, which is fine. All right, we're ready. I need to roll up the sleeves for this because I need to try. I need to focus. It's an important task, so. Yeah, goal is 0x. Obviously, we're going to get a win regardless. We just got to try to stay ahead of the group of cars that's chasing and not get lapped. Or not crash in traffic. I don't want to mess up anybody else's race, obviously. But a 0x is really the #1 goal here. We have no point in doing this for anything else, so. We'll see what we can do. I'm going Bob Giaquinto style, trying to run a race in my own class. He's had a lot of great races in the Ford GT, where he was the only Ford GT, in Proto GT, the GT2 Ford GT. So we're going with that style today, except obviously we're going to be the class leader. I did one of these maybe 2 or 3 years ago at Road Atlanta. on accident. I was trying to run one in the Solstice and wasn't paying attention, registered in the Mustang. And I had no laps in the Mustang, and well, I'd had laps at Road Atlanta at least, so ended up in there with a really fast guy who throughputed and allowed me to win the race. And those were the only road laps I led that whole year, all 16 of those laps, because I ran almost the rest of my races in the Solstice, which is pretty funny. So one of my years, 2021 or 2022, has a like 16 laps led out of all my road starts and road wins, and it's because of those 16 laps at Road Atlanta in this car. So that was awful through Oak Tree. Miss Oak Tree, so sad. Alright, here we come to the tricky part for me. We're going to just break it like 300 and be really conservative in here. I know that there's time to be found, probably a lot of time to be found. I just don't have it. I don't have the confidence in knowing the track layout and exactly what I'm looking for. There we go, get in there at least decently. I feel like I can get through Hog Pen okay when I get to this point, when we get a clean lap. It's just don't have the confidence to fly through there like some guys do, and I always push out here. It's just tricky. I'm not that good here, at least. But we're going to be slow. It's going to be ugly. You're going to laugh at all the mistakes I make. But for those of you that say I never run anything I don't know like the back of my hand, and I never run stuff that I'm not competitive in, this just happens to be a race that there are no other Mustangs. We are not going to be fast. We're not going to be competitive. I'm going to get competitive. Let's not do that, Justin. I'm going to get competitive in this race because I'm going to chase lap times once the tire's teed up and I get more comfortable. But it's not going to be pretty for sure. I just do not agree with this track. I don't know if, again, it's the newness of it to me. Learning it, like literally this week and in previous weeks, I've run Skippy tests around here and stuff, and just I've never raced it because I didn't feel comfortable. And I finally feel comfortable, and we don't even get to prove it against anybody. So even if there was like an 800 iRacing guy in here, they'd probably still be on pace with where I'm going to be at. So that's a little bit frustrating. But obviously, we blew turn 1 on the first Q lap already, so we'll get to go around and get a little more tire heat. Run 1 or done lap 2, but obviously we're starting to pull regardless because it's just us. So we just gotta not blow it in Q, essentially. Alright. A little bit wide there, of course. Don't drop a wheel. I don't want the 1X on the lap we've already ruined. Thank you. Yeah, so I mean, if you want to leave me some tips and tricks to this track, please do. Even though, like I said, I plan to never race here again, ever. I'm just not a fan. I'm sure some of the circuits are interesting, and obviously they run the Car and Driver Hot Lap here that came out a week or 2 weeks ago. It's just not, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I've run enough practice where, you know, some tracks you just click with, and it's like, oh yeah, this could be a good track once I learn it, and it's fun and whatever. I just don't get that out of this track. There isn't, it's interesting, but I think that there was a reason that when it wasn't free, it was some of the like very early iRacing content, and it wasn't free for like 15 years, and they made it free, and people, you know, started running it, obviously, which was the goal. But there was a reason nobody bought it and ran it, because I don't think it was, you know, a fan favorite or, you know, anything crazy. And it's not the most popular North American track in the world, obviously. It's never going to be Laguna or Watkins or anything like that. So, you know, I don't know how to feel about it. It's okay, but I guess we'll see. Here we go. Lap number 2. That lap obviously didn't count. Break a little bit earlier for turn 1. Gotta hold this inside line tight. Back on the gas when we see the second curve. Up to third. We'll leave it here. least we made it. We made a lap, so that's a benefit in my mind. It's a win. Survey says 2:04.6, which is not good, but that should still be faster than all the 86s. If we get into 205s, then we're starting to be a little iffy, because I'm pretty sure a really fast 86 we went at 206. Yeah, 206. So we got to try to stay ahead of those guys. They're just barely in 206s, and they're going to be battling, obviously, but we gotta stay ahead of them, not flub up this start for sure. It's going to be chaos. Relatively happy with my 204. I think that I can run 203s. I don't know what the track temp is in here. I don't know what I was practicing in either, to be honest with you. So we probably could go into 203 without too much chaos, but again, there's not a whole lot of point in pushing to that level if we're not really there. So all right, about 25 seconds here till race time. We are ready.
Yeah, pero ¿cómo es posible hacer aquí un 206 con un Mazda?
All right. All right, let's get on the grid here. Check our temp. We should have enough fuel, no problem. 75-degree track temp. We are ready to go, obviously. We're starting from the pit lane. This is a rolling start, so there's no rolling grid here. That's really interesting. Again, this is, I think, one of the original pieces of content. Like the first 2008 release of iRacing, which maybe they didn't have grid starts on the track. Maybe that's how this all works out. But it looks like the MX-5s are actually the purple cars there that Jack qualified P2 to 206. But yeah, 207 flat, I guess, roughly the same pace for the MX-5 and the 86, which is pretty dangerous. I don't know why they do it like that, but it sounds awful. So again, we'll just uncheck all our fuel and tires and stuff, although they're not checked yet because we're in the pit lane. Interesting. All right, we'll see how this goes. If we die, we die. Hopefully we don't die. Hopefully we can just get out in front and stay there. That would be the goal. No idea how we're going to make this work, but we have to give it a shot, obviously. All right. I am optimistic we cannot suck. I guess that's kind of the baseline. We got people still gridding and disconnecting from the grid. That's worrying unless they want to start from the pits, but that's a third place qualifier.
Vaya mierda quali que he hecho, tío. Casi anulo las dos
Did
vueltas.
miss the grid, so interesting.
Dios, somos 22 más.
Anyways, we're going to roll out pit lane, and I guess we have a full pace lap,
22,
basically.
22, 22.
Should be plenty good on fuel and then some, so.
Venga, suerte a todas por ahí.
Suerte, chicos.
Gotta run away as soon as we can. Yeah, single file.
Suerte,
pit,
chicos,
that's
suerte,
great.
suerte. Nice quali, Jack BC.
I don't think anything can help me on this pace lap. I want to try to get any tire heat that we can because we're going to lose it on a full pace lap here.
Yo no entiendo de verdad cómo el líder con un Mazda C206, tío.
Hopefully they leave it
No, se
decent
puede
gap.
hacer.
They don't need too much
Buena
gap because
puesta a
there's
punto.
only, one of me, but hopefully they leave me like a 1 second gap or something to try and
Joder,
get
pero
away.
es una barbaridad.
First couple corners, get through a straightaway,
Sí, ahorita
some
recién esta
time that
quali.
way, not have them on top of me
Después del
immediately
setup,
if we're only going
la
to be 2
siguiente vez
seconds
voy a
left
hacer
faster.
206.
So
Franco se hizo ante 206 también la carrera anterior.
we'll see how this goes.
Sí, 6 bajos sin rebufo.
Sí, yo he corrido contigo, coño, antes. Y te ha hecho 2067, creo que fue, o 20 algo.
Sí, es que con el setup para race lo tengo ya listo, pero es otra cosa. El auto dobla, el auto no se va nunca, puedes entrar a fondo todo.
Joder, pues pásamelo, mamón.
Ya te lo paso después de la race.
Grande, Franco.
Not concerned about overwearing the
Dale,
tires,
Rafa, me hace de
overheating.
acuerdo, si no vaya a ser que...
If they get too hot and we start
Sí, yo te
sliding
lo
around
recuerdo,
at
no
the
te
end, you
preocupes.
know,
Yo te
I
lo
prefer
recuerdo.
that to flying off the track where we got the whole pack behind us immediately.
Dale, Rafa,
So
éxito, suerte,
we can
suerte.
manage that if it's a gradual
Suerte,
fall
Franco,
off
gracias.
versus this is, you know, we're jumping straight in the fire with cold tires as cold as they're going to be after a full pace lap here. So
Hello, Jack BC. No gap, Jack, no gap. Push.
He doesn't have voice comms on.
Please keep quiet.
Jacobo, tienes que adelantarme, ¿eh? Vas delante mía. Jacobo. Sube puesto, que vas delante mía.
Ya, estoy buscando el hueco.
I'll try to run away, Richard, but no promises. Alright, like I said, we got the win, fortunately. Check this one off. Never race here again, ever. Thank goodness. But we gotta try to get some SR out of this. We already won XQ, which kind of whatever. But I think we won XQ and everything all week. We blew a lap at Bathurst in the GT3. We blew a lap at Okayama in the Cadillac. Still have a Kia Cadillac race to, or a Kia Okayama race to go. Still also have a HPD Okayama race to go. Hopefully we're going to record the HPD race. Also going to try to run 87s at Darlington, just because that's a series I haven't checked off yet. New car I've bought, obviously one of my favorite, if not my favorite cars. So we'll see how this goes. Looks like we're not leaving the gap. We're gonna be thrown right in the fire. Turn 1. Here we go. Pace car's off. Thanks for coming. Let's get to it. '86 is going to sort behind us immediately. Hopefully we can run away here through the twisty bit, turn 1. Just brake again at 200 here, cold tires. I think that's pretty conservative, but better to be conservative than die, in my opinion. Got a 1 second gap early, so that'll play well, hopefully. Again, we got cold tires, but so does everybody else, so a lot of patience will be shown, at least by me. They're going to be faster through these twisty bits just because they're better and probably faster, but just gotta stay patient with this. Of course, even with cold tires, I should be able to run in the 206s, so, or better, so they shouldn't catch me. See on the straight here, as soon as we get anything like the straight, we're going to pull away half a second or so here through the S's. So. Just got to keep it on the island, keep it on the black stuff. Be patient, we'll be okay. Again, they're going to catch me here through Oak Tree, especially on this first lap. Feel our way through. Then we'll pull probably a second here down the long straightaway. So. Stay in a little bit of tow for the time being, see if we can break that as we go. Front stretch will obviously also help long straightaway. Just gotta get through these roller coaster and through Hog Pen, and we'll be able to extend this some more. So again, breaking 300, nice and conservative, easy. Wasn't quite as smooth as I want it to be, but we made it. Still got a 2 second gap here. Again, they're going to be faster than me through Hog Pen for sure, but
Andrés, si quieres pasar,
through here down the straight.
igual tienes más ritmo.
Not quite a 2 second gap. They rolled through there really fast, but now we put the power in.
Vale,
We
vale,
should be
ahora
able
te
to pull
paso.
another half second down the
Es que
front
no quiero
stretch
que se
here.
nos despeguen los
First
balances.
lap complete. On to lap numero
Gracias,
dos.
tío.
I have no idea how many laps we're going to get here at 2
Písale,
minutes,
písale.
probably 12 to 13. So we'll see how that plays out. Nice and easy in there, cool. 2.5 seconds first lap margin. Richard's just about pulled away from Nicholas, still in the tow range, but pretty weak tow from 8 back. I am so bad here. I understand it. I just don't get it, if that makes sense. Like, it's just not meshing with the way I drive cars, which is very, laid back and conservative. You have to attack some of these corners to get the speed out of them, which, again, probably is at least partially down to me not being familiar with the track, but it's just not clicking with me. So I'm not a fan. But if you love it, great. Hope you continue to enjoy it. You will not see me. All right. Not drop a wheel on entry. That was a little bit too close, a little bit closer than I wanted it to be, but we're still all right. Two and a half seconds onto the backstretch. We can measure as a nice data point there where we're at. Again, we should gain over a second here down the straightaway, and hopefully another half second down the front stretch. So. Much speeds are had. All the speeds. It was pretty poor. I don't think we'll catch too much Clio traffic around here just because of the length of the lap, or along with my
Bro, back
lack
brake
of pace
test, bro?
from
Really?
normal Mustang drivers, but maybe we'll catch some. So yeah, we were what, about a second and a bit faster that lap, so maybe not quite a second and a half. Not sure. 5 flat, it's all right. There we go. A little bit smoother, still not perfect, but at least we made it. We're doing okay. It could be a lot worse, so we're doing okay. I can never complain too much. This corner, fast Mustang guys are taking basically flat. I need a drag of the brakes and the big lifter there to make it. I don't know how they're doing that, but obviously they have a much greater understanding of this car and everything than I do. My inconsistency is going to be the biggest thing. I don't feel confident enough to do the same thing every lap and survive, so we're still okay. Richard has pulled away greatly from the car behind. Don't know where Jack is exactly. There's our first spotting of a 86 in front of us. That's a lap car. Plenty of gap though for now. Alright, now we have some tire heat. Let's see if we can run a lap in the 3s. I think that if I can run one lap in the 3s, I'll be happy with the performance we have today. Just gotta do it, so. Although there is an 86 in front of us off the pit lane that must have crashed on the first lap, so could play a factor. It was actually a little bit slower that lap. A little bit of a overzealous entry by me there. We still managed to corral it okay. Don't think this is going to be a 3 though, unless I run a perfect lap here, but we'll try. Feels like we're starting to get a little bit of tire grip as he should on lap 4, which is, third of the way through the race.
Vale, Andrés, que no te queda adelantar, ¿eh? Tú no cambies tu línea.
Vale, vale, vale.
A little bit sloppy up there through the S's, just got a little bit offline to chase it. A little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive there. At least we made it. Slide into the roller coaster, survive that. If we can get through Hogbend, this will at least hopefully be a better lap. Again, I need to note that although I don't like this track, I also don't race the Mustang that much.
Vaya tela, menudo grupo
Plenty
de
familiar
mazdas.
with it, know what I'm doing. Raced it for a long time,
Sí,
but I
sí,
don't
van
race
a
it
lo loco, tío.
30, 40, 50 times a week or anything. 204.2, I'm
¿Te
pretty happy
empujo,
with
tío?
that.
¿Te
So,
empujo?
Sí, sí, dale, 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 dale.
yeah, so I don't know this car well enough to, be fast anyways, but obviously the track is not playing into my favor there. At a place like, Summit or Daytona or something, we can usually keep up okay. And maybe not with the super fast Mustang guys, but in the ballpark, We've been beaten before on the channel by Keith Nelson, people like that drive this car a bunch, which is perfectly acceptable. He's very, very good.
Te empujo otra vez, ¿eh?
It's pretty cool. I'm thinking about looking back at my overall Solstice title. I think I beat Cam Eben, considering he's now like an 11K and one of the top guys. He's the MX5 guy,
Cuando vaya a
which he was
empujar,
back
levanta
then
un
too.
poquito
But
para que no dé el golpetazo, ¿vale?
he's one of the top iRacing guys now, using the MX5 primarily. Real life racing, good
Ok,
for him.
ok.
From right up the street from me, not too far from me, is Evan. So hope Cam's doing well. But yeah, he's one of the guys I beat for my overall Solstice title, which is pretty cool in hindsight now, thinking back on it. But I haven't seen him in quite a while. Maybe we'll run to Road America this year or something, but he's a good dude. Used to be kind of a punk kid, but that's pretty much every punk kid, myself included. Obviously, those of you that have known me, I wore the black hat for a long time, and I still bring it out sometimes to be that guy. But when you're, 14, 15, it's tough to shake that. It's just in the back of your mind always to have that mentality. So, but he's outgrown that. He's a great kid now. He's a fantastic race car driver,
llegamos,
a good guy. So I got focused back up. I almost blew a roller coaster there. Just caught it. We're still good. Plenty of gap. 10 seconds back to Richard, who's pulled 5 seconds on the rest of those battling 86s. As soon as you break the draft here, you're probably pretty safe if you know what you're doing. So Richard's cruising. The problem Jack has in the MX-5s, although he's probably faster, he has to go through a lot or all of the 86s, which is crazy. The overlap in pace is wild. That
Él
they
lanzaba
never
ahí
should have
dos
done.
curvas mal y perdí mucho
Which is why I
tiempo,
want my
tío.
Solstice back and why I want my Jetta back and etc. So. Just overdriving turn 1, just about halfway through, coming up here at the end of this lap. Definitely burning through the front tires. But again, I don't care. I do not care in the slightest. We've survived thus far, that's the key, that's the goal. So I do not care in the slightest. Hopefully we get decent SR out of this, if we can end it with a 0x. A lot of corners around here. Short race, 25 minutes, but a lot of corners, that would be the goal. So. Hopefully we'll be able to get this 86 down the long straightaway coming up here. Hopefully. Just run through some front tires there. Haven't burned through them by any means, but just enough that they're not sticky. Bruno made it very clear which way
Toyota
side he was
detrás,
going. Looks like at least the field in front of us is pretty spread out. Those are cars at the very tail of their packs, so relatively spread, not really battling each other closely, so we can just be patient, pick our way up through there. We didn't really lose any time going through Bruno just because of catching up on the straightaway there. There was a spin up ahead from one of the cars. Just passed halfway there at the completion of that lap. Perfect. Again, I think we're going to slow down a little bit in traffic. probably, which means it's only going to be 12 laps, would be my guess. I need to be a little bit faster to guarantee we're going to have a 13th. We might still have a 13th if we don't have any traffic issues just because of our lap times, but my guess is that we're going to get 12, and I'll try to modulate that a little bit if I can. I don't see any reason to do a 13th lap if we're not going to race anybody or anything, and obviously first in the 86s is decided, so no sense in doing more racing than we have to. There we go.
Toyota, please, please, please.
Richard's killing him now. He's up to 8 seconds over Tanner and the rest of the 86 pack, which is quite crazy performance. That's stuff I used to see in Solstice.
Jorge, did you unbolt that way?
They're racing pretty strange back there. All right, we got some clear track, 25 seconds. Again, we shouldn't catch them too terribly quickly here. Don't know why I went up to 4th there. Again, I'm just pretty brain dead doing this right now. Great spot for some hardware. My guy, we're the only car in class. There's a time and a place, and now is not the time and the place to remind me that I'm bad and I'm only getting this victory because I am the only one that should. To my credit, there was at least one other Mustang I don't recall as iRacing, but it wasn't a name that I recognized big time on the entry list when I signed up for this race. So if he was just practicing or whatever, but he was definitely in a session when I signed up, so I didn't think I was going to be the only Mustang. So to be fair, I thought I was going to have someone to compare against. But it's all right. We're just cruising here. We need it. So we need the SR. We need the track time. And even though my track time is proving to be very sloppy, at least if I ever have to come back here for some reason, which hopefully I never do ever again, I will at least know my way around the racetrack.
Sorry.
We're coming up to it though.
Brake for the
It's
corner,
going to be
you
about
swat.
8 minutes to go when we get back to the line a little bit more. Which again, going to be about
Sorry,
4
Tom.
laps. So
Mate, I've seen you faster than me. I was going to let you go, but that's why I moved to the left on the straight.
You're good. Just do your race.
just everybody's pretty respectful back there. Seems to be at least. All right, we need to be about 8:20. We're gonna be right at it. Yeah, probably gonna be 4 laps left because we're not gonna be clicking off any crazy laps here. So 4 to go, which is good. Probably won't catch that whole group in front of us. Also good. Need to back up my entry at turn 1 just a little bit. We're overdriving it now and sliding the front tires, which is not what you want. Let's back up to like 300 just to be safe.
La puto Toyota de mierda, tío.
Oh, people dying. People upset. I didn't see any Clios either. I didn't look that closely, but there could not be any Clios in here either, which would be wild if there was a split that split, I believe, twice. There were 2 splits of this race. And 1 Mustang, no Clios. Which, you know, entire 70, whatever. 77, 86s, and MX-5s, which makes sense. They're the 2 most popular cars by far. But to see none is kind of strange, so. Cruising along, boringest race in the world. I guess it could be like, you know, yeah, I was gonna say it's probably not the boringest race in the world because it could just be me by myself in a race, but that wouldn't even be an official race. This is an official race that's gonna count for points where I am obviously the only car in a faster class, because at least even if I was the only 86 or the only MX-5, I'd be similar pace to those other cars. But we're going to see nobody. We're going to see the 2-3 lap cars that we pass, and that's going to be it, which is really boring. But again, we can all laugh about Justin trying to learn VIR today. So it's not been pretty. I'm well aware of that, and it has not been that productive. But we've made it around the track at least, which compared to where I started at around here is progress. I promise you, I didn't show obviously all the laps I've run in the Skippy and the Solstice, trying to learn the track layout, and obviously practice for this beforehand, but it has not been pretty. I mean, it's gotten there and it's been productive to at least learn where the track goes, but I have not had that much fun learning this track, I promise you that. So probably still wouldn't know it if I had to jump in anything else at this point, so that's okay. Happens. We'll check it off here today and probably never appear on the channel ever again, so enjoy it while it lasts if it's one of your favorite tracks. We'll bring it 300 here this time for T1 just to be safe. Much better, much smoother to get in there. Probably just going to catch the 86 ahead of us and then maybe that next MX-5. Probably not in 3 laps.
¿Me empuja Víctor, por favor, para llegar?
Unless they're really slow, which they could be, but I doubt it.
No, Víctor, tío, empuja, que si no, no llegamos, picha.
Make sure you remember the brakes this time also.
Got you.
Good job, Bata. Good job. Come on, come on.
We've put 20 seconds on Richard in the 86, which is not impressive in the slightest, but at least he wasn't right behind us in a car that's vastly slower than my car, so. And thank goodness that this track wasn't, a different version of the track or a Lime Rock type track or anything without any straightaways, because we would not be ahead of the 86s, I don't think. I've had races like that.
Maxime, do you want us to be able to catch
not
up to 5th
with
and
me,
6th?
but I've been in the Solstice for some Mustang races where the Mustang leader and the only Mustang, or 1 or 2 only Mustangs with really low I ratings, have been like in back around the Solstice pace, which is insane. If you're at the MX-5 pace, you can just say, okay, you're a little bit off pace, and that's fine, and that's acceptable. It's part of the challenge when you're the MX-5 back in the day to, potentially be leading the race overall. But no, this guy was, 10 to 15 seconds at some tracks off of where they should be in the Mustang, if you're back at Solstice pace. So you got to think, basically any length of straightaway in the Solstice was a slow one that the Mustang should have a huge advantage at, so keep that in mind. Thanks, David, for letting us go. That'll be a
¿Qué
spot.
pasa, Andrés? ¿Tienes daño?
Not going to catch the guys.
Nah,
I don't know where the 11 car went. He must have ran off and DQ'd or disconnected or something. But not anywhere on a relative up ahead of us. Obviously, we're not going to catch 34 seconds here in 2 laps. So. Seem to have settled in where it seems like Richard's run 207 flats to 207.5s, and we're at, 205s, 206s. So
Bro, use brake.
not catching us. Thank goodness, but, we're not a long way away for sure. Pushing a little bit here this lap to see what we can do on these old tires with low fuel.
Eduardo, man, you
Lower
cannot
fuel.
rejoin like that.
When you lost the control of the car, brake, bro, brake. What?
People are not
Hey,
happy.
go onto the right. Go onto the right, and I'll let you go. Because you're a
People are
lot
not
faster
happy
than
with
me.
how this has
Just don't
turned out.
ram
It
into
looks
the
like at the
me
back of the
next
pack.
time,
Again, that's part of the problem with intermixing classes with different strengths. So they overlap and it's a mess. So, way to go, iRacing, for ruining this great series. But I digress.
Varga, you are going to you didn't know.
Turned in there really shallow to the roller coaster. Almost picked up a 1X on the inside there, actually. Not sure I've done that yet, because I've never underdriven that corner that badly. All right, well, white flag here, probably.
You were
Maybe.
wrong, man.
Yep,
you
one
were
more.
wrong. Stop talking, man. Stop talking. Just watching replay. Stop talking.
Back in the 204s at least there. Not a perfect lap, but not an awful one, so. Finish this one up, not going to catch any cars ahead. So. Nice chill final lap. I don't drive it off track by sliding. Would be ideal. Probably run most of a cool down lap here just to get any little bit of extra SR we can. But we got a twisty track, and while we're all by ourselves, need a little bit extra SR. I think we're down to 4.6, which again, like my oval for a little bit there, was the lowest road SR I've had in several years. Just
Accidente hacia
been some
adelante,
sloppy races, both by me and just with other people being dumb. So, oh, and I forgot GTE. I lost some SR in the GTE race that I won because the guy was running me off track, dive bombing for 4Xs, you know, etc. So I did go off track myself, I think twice, but the guy I was racing against was not that classy. So, anyways, we're gonna come around here. Final time through Oak Tree, painfully incorrect and slow, but we made it onto the long back straightaway. Alternate pit lane here. Not sure if it's actually used in anything on iRacing, but we will not catch Damien ahead, so we'll just hang out behind him on the cool down lap, which will be good actually. 22 seconds our current margin over Richard. He's run a great race. He's really pulled away from the cars behind, like 17 seconds. So he's obviously killing it here in the 86. Nice and smooth up into here, through the roller coaster. One final time through Hog Pen. And we will take it. Nice and smooth, a little bit of a rear tire slide, but we will come through and take our first and probably last ever victory at VIR. I wouldn't say well earned, but we didn't throw it off the road and we won overall, so that's the key. Good race, everybody. Alright. Well, that was a race. Alright, well, that's a result that we definitely needed, not just for the standings, but again, hopefully we get 0.1 or 0.2 SR out of this. So, did have the 1X and Q, but that shouldn't be a huge detriment. Again, a lot of corners here. We're going to get a 13th lap basically all in here with the cool down, so.
Go by on my left, Thomas. Good race, thank you, sir.
Yes. It's alright, mate. Maxine, honestly, like...
Gasolina, no puede ser.
It sounds like I'm the only one that's happy with this result. I mean, maybe, what's his
No,
nuts?
no, re la vuelta previa, qué burro que soy, Dios.
Vamos, Andrés,
I
vamos,
think
vamos,
Richard
menos
probably is. It
final.
looks like that Jack didn't even end up winning.
Nice race, Jack BC.
Close race though with all those guys. It looks like top 3 there. Well, that's not what I'm trying to do.
Franco,
Anyways,
te lo dije que no llegabas
looks
con
like,
16.
you know, those guys had a great MX-5 battle, 3-way battle at the end. But Richard
Franco,
and I are probably the only ones really happy with how this race played out.
Qué grande.
Dale, Rafa, te lo paso, aguanta, te estoy pasando.
Sounds like
Gracias,
Jack had some
tío.
damage, but still managed second place. So probably an okay result for him. There we go. 86 head goes around the final corner. We get to get the maximum SR out of this here.
Ha estado bien la carrera, pero
He's
tío,
crossing the line.
sido-
Time has expired.
pude haber hecho mucho más.
Yeah, even with that extra lap, 1.5 gallons extra fuel, which is whatever, unsurprising. Everybody else pretty mad about the result of this race. How many people had 0x16 there for 4 car? A lot of high incidents. Even Richard had 2. We had our 0 there. That's our 0 and 17th. Jorge, the 19 car, had 0. God, this mouse is just... all right, Jorge had 0 and 19 car, and that was it. So Jorge and I The only two 0xers where he finished second in the 86s, so he must have just
Confírmame, Rafa, si
gotten
te
up through
llevo
there cleanly.
los dos
Everybody
Wally
else had
Ray.
instant points. That's all right. We'll go back to where we were at. See what these results look like here. Yes, we are ready for the race. Results. Plus 0.14. We'll take that. Get up to 4.75. Keep our iRating, obviously. We were not that fast, but we did lead 12 laps, and we ran an average lap better than all the best laps from all the other guys. So that's that's a win because those guys are obviously very quick in both the MX and the 86. Looks like Jack is a 6300, which would make him the one car even over myself. Franco is also 6100, would make him the two car over myself, and then my 6090 would throw us in as a three car if we were on the main. So yeah, we'll take that. Congrats to Jorge on the 0x. Look at the big SR gain he got. Obviously, Richard on the big win. Great MX5 battle. And we never have to race at this dumb track ever again. So we'll take that as a victory and be done with that for quite a while at least. I need to not do that anytime soon. So that's going to be it. Make sure you drop a like and a sub down below. I appreciate all the love and support. We've had some great racing recently and some great other things going on. So I really appreciate all the love everybody's thrown me, all the support, all the views and the likes. It means the world to me. It truly does. So hopefully I can continue to pump out good content and be entertaining and hopefully teach people that are willing to learn. So that's going to be it. Till next time, as always, bye.